Hey guys, it's Alex, and today I'm here with the second Tome around book tag. This was originally created by Julie at the Hungry Bookworm, and I was tagged by Dane Reads and BookTube Goddess, so I will link all of their videos down below. Definitely go check all of them out. This tag is specifically about used books, and if you watch any of my videos, any of my haul videos in particular, you'll notice that the vast majority of those books are used, because I cannot afford nice pretty new books. If I were to buy only nice pretty new books, I would buy maybe like 2 books a year, because that's about what the money I spend on used books comes out to. The first question is, do you buy secondhand books? And obviously yes I do. I would say about 80% of the books I own are secondhand books. Some of them are gifts, obviously. Some of them I've had for a very long time, since giving people Barnes & Noble gift cards and Borders gift cards was a thing. I miss Borders. But I buy secondhand books all the time. Secondhand books are kind of where I live. Question 2 is, what is/was your latest purchase? My last purchase was in October, I believe, and I bought the first 5 books in the Throne of Glass series. I know this isn't all of them, but they were just on the shelf, and they were pretty matching series, and I never get to buy pretty matching series. And I've been wanting to try Sarah J Maas for a minute, so I was like, sure, why not? And I know people talk better about her ACOTAR series, but honestly, I find myself more intrigued by the plotline of these, so we'll see how I feel about her. But yeah, like, these are in fairly decent condition, considering they're like paperbacks, you know? Matching paperbacks at that. Question 3 is, what condition do you find acceptable, i.e. tatty or not? I'm not picky when it comes to condition. I'm just a lot more concerned with, like, if the book is held together or not. Like, if it's whole, I'm fine with that. As long as a book isn't literally falling apart or missing pages, I'm okay with that. I'm not at home, so I would show you an example, but I do have a copy of Infinite Jest that's literally taped together. And when I bought it from the thrift store, it was just taped together. It's held together with tape. Like, if the tape were gone, it would be in multiple pieces. But I'm fine with that, because I didn't tape it. The tape is there. The tape seems rather sturdy. So all the pages are there, and that's really all I care about. The only time I've ever not bought a book because of the condition was The Anansi Boys by Neil Gaiman, and that literally had pages that were like falling out of it, and I wasn't sure all the pages were there, so I was like, I'll pass. But in general, like, as long as it's whole, I'm fine with it. And just as an example, this is one book I've bought. This is like an ex-library copy that's got, you know, it's got the shiny plastic on it. It's like ribbed. It's got like writing on the inside. But yeah, I'm fine with this. And I love books that are annotated. Like, I love finding a book in a thrift shop that's been like all written in and highlighted in. Like, that makes me want to pick it up even more. Just like, that makes it so much cooler to me. And I don't know, I get excited whenever I find a book that's been written in, and I'm just more likely to pick up that book because I think that's really cool. Question 4 is, after you have read the book, do you donate it or do you keep it for a reread? For me, it varies. It depends on how I feel about the book. I instinctively keep books. Like, that is my neutral. That is just what I always gravitate towards, is just keep every book. But I don't have space for that, so I literally cannot keep every book that I buy. So it's normally, if I give a book 1 or 2 stars, I'll unhaul it and just like take it to a little free library, because that's usually where I donate all my books. And if it has 4 or 5 stars, I definitely keep it. If it has 3, it can go either way. It depends on like how I felt about it. If it's like a high 3 stars, like that was a really good book but not great, I'll usually keep it. But if it was a 3 stars that was like I just barely didn't dislike it, usually I unhaul it. So it just kind of like varies on the book and my mood. Question 5. Do you have a favorite place you like to go when looking for secondhand books? I do go to a fair number of different places. I have various thrift shops in my area that I frequent all the time. Goodwill is a big one. I know I should stop supporting Goodwill, and I definitely have supported them less in the past year than I have in prior years. I also go to little free libraries a lot. I think they're really nice, but again, finding books at little free libraries can be rather difficult, and either they don't have much of a selection, or it's just like they're only going to have about a dozen books, so it's kind of just a crapshoot of if they have anything you're interested in. Another place I go is Second and Charles. Second and Charles is a chain bookstore. They're higher end. They carry new books as well as used books, and they are on the pricier end. Most of their books usually start at like $2 if it's like a mass market paperback used book, and they can go up to like $7 or $8 for a used book. And then they of course carry new books at like normal prices. Like you can find a $30 new release hardback there. Same as you can Barnes and Noble. But I do go there when I'm looking for something that's like more specific because they do have a much wider selection. My favorite place to go to is a local thrift shop called Diversity Thrift. All of the proceeds from the thrift shop go to the I'm forgetting where it goes to. It goes to an LGBT plus group that's in my city, and that it's like local to my city. So it's like a good organization. It supports a good cause. So that makes me happy. And also, they have a box of books sale where you pay $6 and you get a box of books. And I'm not talking about like a shoebox box. I'm talking about like those big boxes that like you can buy like printer paper in, that you just get like reams and reams of printer paper in like a giant box. That's the kind of boxes that they have. They're huge. Like I can easily fit like 30 books into a box and pay $6 for it. It used to be $5, but they recently upped the price to $6, which like broke my heart a little, but also it's hard to say no to donating an extra dollar to an LGBT plus organization. So I love that thrift store. That's definitely my favorite place to get books. The selection varies a lot. It just depends on what they have in stock, but they have about 3 full rooms just of used books, and I love it. I love going there. Like, that's how I have so many books, because I can't afford to buy a lot of books unless they're from there. Question 6, hardback or paperback? Do you have a preference? Not really. I'm not really in a place where like I can afford to have a preference. If I want the book, then that is usually my only option to have the book. But I like hardbacks and paperbacks for different reasons. Hardbacks obviously look really nice and they stay nice for longer and they just hold up better over time. Paperbacks are slightly better for me to read and they're usually cheaper, so that's usually what I go with. But really it's just whatever they have there, and whatever the cheapest option is usually what I get. Question 7, have you found any real gems? And of course, like there are so many gems when you're out like hunting in thrift stores for books. I found The Night Circus in a thrift store. I found a hardback copy of Lethal White less than a year after it had been released. I found The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, although I didn't buy it. I did see it. I found most of a set of the Sarah J. Maas books, which like I may or may not like them, but it's still cool to find them. I found a bunch of Eric Larson books. I found John Krakauer's books. Like, I have found a lot of books that either I genuinely love or just want from thrift stores. And then, of course, buying used online. I've bought books that are out of print. I've bought Ellen Emerson White's books that aren't being published anymore, that aren't being printed anymore. So I can only get them used. And just a lot of books like that, like, there are so many gems, and I love finding them. Question 8 is find a book from your shelves to unhaul and donate. And I am kind of cheating with this one because it was already in my unhaul pile. But that is Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. This is currently the only book on my shelves that I want to get rid of. I didn't hate the book. I gave it 3 stars, but it was kind of like a mediocre 3 stars. And plus this isn't a very nice copy. I don't mind getting like old tatty copies or like ex-library copies. It's just, this one is like particularly old, particularly yellowed, particularly unattractive, and I didn't like it. So if I do wind up like really loving Virginia Woolf, I may collect Mrs. Dalloway again at a later point, but honestly I can't really see myself wanting to have a copy, and I'll just dump this at a little free library sometime, probably in a vlog in the not too distant future. And then the final question, question 9, is go ahead and tag some peeps. And I'm going to tag Booksellettes, Kylie A, and Autumn of Pelennor. All of them are linked down below. They all buy used books from what I've noticed, so definitely like go check out their channels. They're pretty fabulous people. Let me know down below if you like buying used books, if you do it frequently, and what your favorite used book is. If you found any real gems, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching.